be the best. Simple and plain. That's why I play the game. To be the best, you have to win. And that's what drives me.
He's the best player in the game. It's just that simple.
Yo, what it do, good people? We is back with another vid. Need y'all to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and spam that comment section. You coming through the door, kick your shoes off, kick your feet up, time to get comfortable. You with the negative energy, please exit the building. You know somebody that need a helping hand, please lend it. You know some kids in your immediate family that needs help as far as guidance, please lead them into the right direction, because it's always the children are the future. It's always each one, teach one. We got an update. We got an update on the 10 inmates that escaped.
Louisiana State Police captured another one of the 10 inmates who escaped from a New Orleans jail last night. Corey Boyd is charged with second-degree murder. This afternoon, Louisiana State Police announced the arrest of 2 people who helped some of the inmates after their escape. CBS News reporter Katie Weiss is live in New Orleans for us. So how is the search going for the rest of the inmates still at large?
Well, as far as we know, still 5 men at large, could be anywhere, could be right here. It's funny to say, in a way, you know, they've had a 5-6 day head start, and yet, as you mentioned, that one person who was arrested last night, he was actually found right here in New Orleans, didn't make it very far despite having several days on the run. We also know that some of these inmates who are still at large at this hour are considered armed and dangerous. They are accused of violent crimes, including one convicted of murder. So officials are treating this very seriously. There's a lot of tension in the city, too, just over accountability about how this could have happened in the first place. The sheriff says she's taking full responsibility for it, but is demanding a lot more help from the city. She says she needs $13 million to make this facility here behind me adequately secure for the remaining inmates that are still here.
Why wasn't this facility secured from the jump? Why does she need to ask for $13 million when they built this prison and knew what type of inmates was going to be coming to this prison? So it should have already been adequately secured. Now she need to take money out of the state's pocket and also the government's pocket to build this facility that she's talking about, because they're gonna have to reconstruct the whole inside. If the doors are able to come off the hinges that easy, come on now.
Here.
Yeah, that leads to my next pretty obvious question. What are any updates in the investigation and how all those inmates were able to escape?
That's a big question, right? There's been a lot of talk about how it could have been an inside job, or how did they have outside help as well. Now we know a little bit of both of that. We know that a maintenance worker here at the facility has been charged with 11 counts, felony counts, and a $1.1 million bond for his alleged involvement. He says he was coerced, threatened to help the inmates escape from the inside. But the AG here today tells us she doesn't buy that story. She says he had plenty of time to report the escape and did not do so. Meanwhile, just this afternoon, 2 other alleged co-conspirators were arrested in this case. They were arrested just an hour south of here in a parish called Plaquemines Parish. It's a smaller community just south of here. And those 2 co-conspirators are accused of allegedly driving these escapees around town after they broke out of this jail and helping them pick up things that they needed. So it gives us some clues as to how these inmates were able to then not only make a break for it, but then get around more undetected. And authorities want to warn anyone, if you are harboring a fugitive, you will be held accountable. So do the right thing and call police right away.
That's some crazy work right there. That is some crazy work right there. Give me 1 second, y'all. We're going to stop the screen. We're going to share it. This is some crazy work.
Police arrest 2 women accused of helping some of the escaped inmates stay free.
Maddie Kurth breaks down how.
On a Meg, state troopers say they have phone records of both the women communicating with some of the fugitives. They say Corvante Baptiste helped the one recaptured last night, Corey Boyd, and that Courtney Harris was at some point used as a getaway car. Now, Fox 8 law enforcement and the 2 women accused of helping some of the escaped inmates stay free.
Maddie Kurth breaks down how.
On a Meg, state troopers say they have phone records of both the women communicating with some of the fugitives. They say Corvante Baptiste helped the one recaptured last night, Corey Boyd, and that Courtney Harris was at some point used as a.
She look like somebody mama. This somebody mama? Wow. Courtney Harris, that's somebody's baby mama.
Getaway car. Now, a Fox 8 law enforcement source says Leo Tate called Harris before the jailbreak. Tate was in the facility awaiting trial on burglary, drug, and weapons charges. Troopers say Harris later drove two of the fugitives around various spots in New Orleans. They say those Now, a Fox 8 law enforcement source says Leo Tate called Harris before the jailbreak. Tate was in the facility awaiting trial on burglary, drug, and weapons charges. Troopers say Harris later drove two of the fugitives around various spots in New Orleans. They say those two are still on the run, but did not identify them any further. In Slidell, troopers say Corvante Baptiste helped to get food to Corey Boyd while he hid from police. They say they have records of phone calls and social media messages. Boyd was picked up by troopers yesterday evening in the 1400 block of Iberville. He's accused of killing Mr. Brandon Fees during a car burglary last year. Now, the two women each face one count of accessory after the fact. In Louisiana, that's a felony, punishable. The two women was picked hid from. In Slidell, they say those two are still on the run, but did not identify them any further. In Slidell, troopers say Corvante Baptiste helped to get food to Corey Boyd while he hid from police. They say they have records of phone calls and social media messages. Boyd was picked up by troopers yesterday evening in the 1400 block of Iberville. He's accused of killing Mr. Brandon Fees during a car burglary last year. Now, the two women each face one count of accessory after the fact. In Louisiana, that's a felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison. Now, 5 inmates are still out there, and investigators say they're getting help to stay ahead of law enforcement. Attorney General Liz Murrill says her message is simple: help the escapees, and you will end up behind bars.
If you help them, you will be prosecuted. You shouldn't help them. The more help that they get, the more charges there are going to be.
Is it really worth going to prison over?
The first arrest for allegedly helping in the escape came earlier this week. Jail maintenance workers.
Is it really going to prison over? Man, they finna do anything they can. And you know it, to catch these motherfuckers. They finna do anything they can to catch these motherfuckers.
Sterling Williams faces 10 counts of simple escape and 1 count of malfeasance in office. Williams claims one of the escapees, right there on your screen, Antoine Massey, he says he threatened to shank him if he didn't shut the water off to the cell's toilet right there. Williams' attorney, Michael Kennedy, says his client shut the water off to unclog the toilet, not to allow the men to cut the pipe to freedom. But Sheriff Susan Hudson launched an internal investigation into her own staff, believing the inmates had more help from the inside. So far, a total of 4 OPSO employees were suspended without pay.
We need to find out who the other two is. Well, that's him. He the third one. Where the other person at? That's crazy. Told y'all we're going to keep y'all updated with what's really going on. Like, share, and subscribe. Allegedly, they say one of the inmates have been shot and killed. That's allegedly. So we'll see what's to it and bring y'all some updates. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We the People TV.